Welcome to Good Grief Mama. I'm Allie, wife and mom of 3, and this is a podcast for honest conversations about motherhood and marriage and homeschooling and homemaking. So if you've ever felt called to do motherhood and marriage just a little different, or if you've ever wondered, why is no one talking about this? Then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you're here. This episode is sponsored by Restore Your Core Physical Therapy. Hey mamas, whether you're pregnant, postpartum, or your kids are in college, your body deserves some TLC. The doctors at Restore Your Core Physical Therapy get it. From pelvic floor therapy and birth prep to fixing that back pain that you've been ignoring for way too long, they've got you covered. With locations in Carmel, West Carmel, Zionsville, and Greenwood, expert care is close by. Visit restoreyourcorept.com or call 317-597-6323. Make sure you mention the Good Grief Mama podcast to get $50 off a 90-minute evaluation or $25 off a 60-minute evaluation. You've been taking care of everyone else, and now it's your turn. All right, guys. So this week is special. I have a special episode because I brought my husband on. And he and I talk about some of the crunchy things and how he feels about them, the crunchy changes and shifts that I've made. So make sure that if you love this episode, you leave me a comment and send a text, a DM, share it with a friend, and show my husband some love in the comment. Welcome back to Good Grief Mama. And today you'll see it's a little different.
A little different.
I finally convinced my husband to come back on the podcast. It's been 2 years.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. But he is back on the podcast. So make sure that in the comments you show him some love and welcome him back. But welcome, Nathan, back to Good Grief Mama.
Hi, mamas.
It's going to be so weird. All right. Well, I have notes on my phone because today I would like to get your opinion on the quote unquote crunchy shifts that we've been making in our family.
Aha. We're talking about this today. Okay.
Yes. We're going to talk about all things garlic and the changes. I actually, just before we got on here, I was trying to get him to take garlic because he was saying he's not feeling great.
And what did I say?
You said no.
That's correct.
I mean, almost instantly. I don't even think you let me finish the of garlic.
I knew where you were going. Not my first time.
Not your first rodeo. Okay, well, so in general, just to lay the groundwork, I guess, to me, crunchy kind of just means like making healthier choices for our family. And so I've been making some healthier choices for our family. And I feel like some of them you very much come along with, and some of them maybe not so much. But I would love for you to give me some opinions. There's some feedback on what we've been doing. You ready to jump in?
Let's see. Feedback on crunchy. I think if I had to say, when you talked about being crunchy, I felt like it was just a phase. It was another one of those like, oh, I love doing this. All right, I'm going to start running. I'm going to start doing whatever. And then I was like, oh, it'll be gone soon. And then it just kind of kept going and kept going. I don't know. I think some of it is that it's just normalized a little bit.
Yeah, I've gotten you to sink into it. How would you, okay, before we started making crunchy shifts, because that was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
How would you describe like our life before I started making crunchy shifts?
Convenient.
Yes, I think I would agree with that.
I don't know. I'd say convenient. Easy's a word. I think convenience is a better word though. I don't know. And I think that about the time you started doing more crunchy stuff, if that's what we're calling it, I don't know. I would say I started getting healthier anyways, like focusing more on my health. So a lot of what you've put together has coincided with that. I still think there's a little bit of, woo-woo magic stuff in there, but
what did we just recently talk about that you were like, you did not believe? Oh, it's EMFs.
Oh yeah, those little electromagnetic fields.
I had him take my EMF reader when he was like looking at different cars. And he was just like, this is woo-woo for sure. Okay. So before we started making crunchy shifts, would you say that we were like unhealthy, or we were just kind of like, run of the mill?
I don't know. I would say our lifestyle was unhealthy, but I think it was not because we were trying to be healthy.
What do you mean
It
our
was just
lifestyle was unhealthy?
because we just eat whatever.
That's true.
Yeah.
We were kind of trying though. I mean, off and on, but I think it was the I don't know. I think it was more we were doing what the world kind of has said is healthy. Like we were working out, but then I would go get Einstein's bagels after I worked out. One time you caught me eating donuts in the car right after working out.
I didn't say it.
So yeah, I mean, we were kind of ish healthy. We were trying. Okay, so what would you say was the first shift that you noticed when I started making we're using Crunchy. That's not what I was like trying to go for, but like that's the easiest way to describe
Yeah, I
it.
don't know. I would say crunchy's not the right word. I would say you were more purposeful in what we were doing. And some of that is, you could go really granular, like knowing what's in everything that you're eating. And which now that I'm more focused on being healthier and putting the right foods in my body and things like that, it is more, I don't know,
You pay more attention to that.
pay more attention to it. Yeah. So you have to be more purposeful in it because then you know exactly what you're eating and what your body's fueling and things like that. But I don't know. The first things that I noticed were you started gardening where you wanted to bring your own food into the home.
Okay, but I want you to think back to townhome. When we were living in the townhome, there were a lot of things that I started changing that you were
So-
like, why did you do this? Or why are you throwing this away?
I can tell you stuff like that.
Yeah, that was like the
The-
first phase.
When I came home and all of our plastic cutting boards and plastic utensils had been thrown away, the ones that are really easy to put in the dishwasher
Yep.
that you don't have to clean and you can just, put them in there and then they get done and then you put them back and you can use them. Then they go back in the dishwasher and it's really easy and doesn't cause a lot of dishes to just hang around that need to be hand washed. Yeah.
You were
all of
so mad
those-
about the wooden cutting boards.
All of those got thrown away and they were replaced by everything wooden, which cannot go, if you didn't know, wood can't go or is not supposed to go in the dishwasher. That's probably a crunchy thing too, but you have to wash that by hand. And so now our dishes went from we don't have any in the sink to we got this pile of wood that just sits there and waits for someone to be cleaned. And, that really comes to fruition when you have to make dinner. And
You
then
said
you realize,
this pile of wood. You make it seem like I just went and cut a tree down and just loaded it.
we're probably pretty
into our
close to
sink.
that. We're probably pretty close to that. Shivving her own spatulas out of the trees. I could see that.
That could be my next hobby I pick up.
Whittling.
Whittling.
Mm.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Aside from whittling our own cutting boards, do you remember any of the other changes I made? I mean, I think the very first thing I did was the toothpaste, but I don't think I switched your toothpaste out because I think you still wanted your old toothpaste. But the first thing I feel like I remember was toothpaste. And then the plastic stuff I started cutting out.
I can remember that. I can remember waking up to the smell of onions. And I was like, what is going on? And I look over, I had been sick. I look over and on my nightstand is just an onion.
It was cut up.
Yeah, cut up onion. And I was like, what is happening? And it was hot in the room and the onion's just sitting here and it's wafting into my face. And she said, oh, it's a remedy. It's going to make you healthier and suck up all of the pollution in your body or something. That was the last time she did that.
No, it wasn't. It's just last time I did it for you.
Yeah.
I've done it for the kids. I never actually made you do the potato in the sock thing, but the kids and I do that. Our oldest, he calls it the potato experiment because you get to see what color it is after, you wake up.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Not ready to make that jump yet.
Not ready for that yet. Okay, so is there anything that you like supported immediately, you feel like? Or were most things you were kind of just like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, I think getting things down to ingredients that logically makes sense because there's a lot of preservatives and things like that in foods that you just are like, I didn't know what this was. And maybe this is why this isn't giving me the energy that I thought I was getting when I ate this. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything right off the bat that I was like, oh, great idea. I'm sure there was, but I can't think of something off the top of my head. I think for me, what I see is the overall impact when I see how our kids are making choices and they have more energy. They're not as combative with things. They're picking things up. They're learning things like that. So I don't know. I think I see how it's affected our kids, and it's been good choices for our kids. I'm just so set in my ways that, the EMFs are going to get me.
Hey, you've come a long way, because the other day you bought deodorant that was aluminum free. You came home and you were like, check it out.
Wasn't good enough, though.
You said,
She
hey,
told
it's
me
a step in the right direction.
it was scented. It wasn't supposed to be
Yeah,
scented.
it had fragrance. But
Deodorant is supposed to be scented.
why do you want, okay, I've never understood that. Even before I was like crunchy or making healthier choices, why do you want your armpits to smell like flowers, or for girls at least, like flowers, or for guys, like, why do you want it scented? I want to lift my arm and smell nothing.
Well,
You know?
I don't know. But
It's
I don't
why
want
are
it to
the
stink.
options stink or other stink, like better stink?
Good smells. Clearly, you've never had Bear Claw from or Bear Glove. Sorry, not Bear Claw. Bear Glove
I was like thinking of donut.
on Old Spice. It's phenomenal. Sponsor.
Okay, so be honest. You've said it a few you've hinted at a couple of things, but what changes do you think are just like totally unnecessary that have happened? Or maybe like extreme? Have I done any extreme things?
The EMF to me is,
So you have to give some backstory. This was because you were looking at getting an electric vehicle.
I was.
You were interested in it.
I was.
And I'm not for that.
And she made me listen to this podcast. It was good. I get it. There's something there, but it wasn't enough that I was like, oh, my brain's gonna fry and fall out of my head type of thing. It was just like, oh,
Well,
it
no one's
could
saying
affect-
that your head is going to fall out or whatever you just said. It's more just an overall negative impact on your health.
There's a lot of things that are doing that.
I know. So that's why we keep our bucket less full.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna die on the EMF hill.
Okay. Did you ever feel like frustrated or overwhelmed by any of the changes that I made?
Probably. Trying to think.
I feel like, okay, so from my perspective, while you're thinking, when we were in the townhome, so we've been in this house for a couple of years. We lived in a townhome for 2 years after we moved up here from Georgia while we were building this house. And that's when I first started making the changes. And I feel like you got a little frustrated when I threw out all of the cutting boards, but like also the pots and pans. Do you remember that? I was like, I wanted the stainless steel and not the.
Yeah. I mean, most of it is dishes.
It is. We have a really big problem in this house with dishes. Always a problem with dishes.
Yeah.
But okay. So dishes, was there anything else that you could think of?
Oh, you got that nasty beef one time. What the heck was it?
The ancestral beef.
Oh my gosh. She made this, I don't even remember what she made it in, tacos maybe.
Yeah,
and I
think
just
it-
remember taking that first bite of the taco and I was like, something's not right. Maybe the meat's bad. Well, if you don't know what ancestral beef is, it's ground up.
It's ground beef, but then it also has like heart and liver, I think, in it too, like beef liver and stuff. So it's like you're getting organ meats, but you also have like ground beef. So it's like it's a mixture to help kind of ease in the
Yeah.
yumminess and the nutritiousness of organ meat.
Hearts don't taste good. And
You know, we
whatever
had a
that is,
friend over.
organs,
He was eating it too, and he said he couldn't taste the difference.
He doesn't live here anymore. Anyways, that was gross. And she's like, but it's really good for you. And
It is.
yeah,
I would love to bring that back.
won't be eating that again.
Okay, but you have very much, I don't feel like there's any resistance anymore. I feel like every time I introduced a new thing, there was like a little resistance or a little like, why? Why would we spend much more money on this grass-fed beef than we would on like regular beef? So I feel like you've kind of accepted some of it a little bit. I think some of it you even kind of like.
Can you give me some examples?
Well, I do recall the other day, just a few days ago, you asking me for one of the homeopathic medicines for your sore throat.
Well, mostly because I didn't know what else we had in the house, but I knew we had that. And so, anything that helps if it's not onions and potatoes in my socks. And
Well, you've not fought you've not had any, like, resistance on the changes that I've made to, like, our laundry soap, our hand soap, the candles, like, the
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think about that stuff though. It's one
Yeah,
of those like, oh, yeah, I mean, if it's, I think it goes back to life was convenient. And so I'm not as purposeful. I'm not as focused on these things as you are. You're spending time, a lot more time with our kids. You are studying, you're learning their curriculum, you're doing all this kind of stuff. So I think you're kind of around it more
yeah.
versus I'm, on my own a little bit more during the day because I work. And so while I'm at work, you're really focused on how do I get the kids to
Not have red dye 40.
whatever that is.
No,
But
I think you're right because I think that goes into our roles though, like in marriage, because you do a really good job of providing for our family and putting your effort and like your skills to work there. And part of my job is doing this stuff around the house. And so you might not have even noticed that we do like organic fruits and vegetables for the most part because I'm the one that goes to the grocery and buys them, which I'm very thankful for because whenever you come to the grocery with me, we always end up spending so much more money and inevitably yucky things get put in the cart.
I'm an impulse buyer.
He's a huge impulse buyer, a really big snack impulse buyer too.
They do a good job marketing to me.
They do. What was those things that you got at the grocery store the other day? Those like circle Cheeto,
Mhm.
the ring thingies. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I like flaming hot. So if they've got, that's probably not crunchy.
It's not even a little.
Probably, I mean, it's probably organic red fire 40 dye,
Oh my.
something or another.
100%. Okay, so are there any like benefits from our shifts that have surprised you? I know you said you appreciated like how the kids have been acting and learning and growing, and they're very healthy kids.
No, I think it's brought an awareness. And I don't know, like I said, you could see the change in our kids. I think that there's a lot of health benefits, but also like behavioral. They're not getting some of the things that are causing them to go a little crazy. I mean, our kids are still crazy and loud, but
I mean, they're 6 and 3,
they're true.
9
But
months.
they're healthy, they're happy, their emotions seem proper as they're going through. And I think it's creating an awareness in them to go, well, what am I eating? Some of it has been, I know this isn't really a crunchy thing, but even being purposeful on I'm making dinner and everybody is eating this versus, well, the kid doesn't like this, so we're gonna make chicken nuggets or mac and cheese or corn dog or whatever. And so you've been very purposeful with that, and I see that with our kids. They know if I'm not gonna eat this, I'm not eating anything today, and I'll eat breakfast tomorrow. And so things like that have been good. But then I also know that they are getting good food. I mean, even to the point where you've started, and maybe this, I guess this is more of a crunch thing, but from the garden, you're now bringing our own food in. You started making sourdough, which has been nice to see. We can do different things there and have healthier options. But even then, you start making tortillas, and it's 2 ingredients.
It's a little bit more than that, but it's delicious. It's like 3 ingredients.
But they taste better. We know what we're eating. And so, we can feel better about what we're doing. And then everything else, I think it's like she said, she's doing the research. If I have that big of a deal with it, then I will have a conversation or we'll do this, or, if I feel like it's too cuckoo, whatever, then I'll just come around to it. It doesn't bother me if we're focused on those things and, you know, there's benefits on the other side of it.
Well, and some of that stuff I try to not force on you, if that makes sense. Like you still have your cough drops and your NyQuil and that kind of stuff.
Use some Mac.
I haven't like swapped out your cough drops and only given you the bee propolis spray or whatever. Like I've kind of just let it ride. But I have noticed you asking for these things, so I feel like you're coming over to my side. All right. So, how would you describe the view of our lifestyle now? Now that we've been making some of these changes.
Style now.
Yeah, you described our lifestyle before we started making the changes as like convenient.
Yeah.
How would you describe what our lifestyle looks like now?
I think it still uses the word purposeful. I think it allows us to set more goals. Like we want to be healthier. Well, I can say that and I can change my diet, but does changing my diet just mean I change to healthier options, or do I really know what kind of nutrition I'm putting in my body? I think even, I mean, the EMF stuff is whatever, but the way you said it, I think makes sense when we say, there's all these things that are harmful or poison or whatever it may be that we're putting in our body. And it's just kind of a thing that we've been conditioned to. Why not find some ways to, take things out of our bucket so that it's not as heavy and, less mortality rate and things like that. So
Good. I'm loving hearing this. If we suddenly stopped all of our crunchy stuff and went back to how we were living before, is there anything crunchy that you'd be missing? The tortillas?
tortillas, definitely the tortillas.
At least.
Definitely the tortillas. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's really anything big. It's all, I don't know.
It's all little things, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's been little shifts, the soaps, the laundry detergent, the switching out the snacks and the foods and going for healthier foods, the medicines. It's been a lot of little things, I do feel like.
I don't know if there would be anything that I would be missing per se. I would wonder
How you
why.
feel.
I think there would have to be a giant shift because I think that the mindset is for both of us really is not we're doing this to be like trendy. I think you're doing it to be healthier and make better choices for our family. And so I would wonder why we're deciding to be, oh, I'm okay making bad decisions for my family.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's a good point. Well, kind of along those lines, then, what have you learned about me through this process? Because this is not how I was when we got married.
no.
I mean, I was always strong-willed.
Yeah, I think that's still the same thing. I would say that you are when you actually believe in something, you're going to fight for it until you get the results or you realize that the data was incorrect or trial and fire type of thing. So, I don't know. I would say it just continues to prove to me that when you believe in something, you can do it.
Oh. Okay. So along the marriage lines then too, what has this season of like shifting stuff taught you about how we make decisions together?
You just tell me what to do and then I do it.
That's not true at all. Let's just go to the EMF thing.
No, I think what it's done is it's forced a deeper level of communication because I think there's expectations and then there's, I have feelings or thoughts about what I want to do that may be convenient things versus some of the things that maybe she's researched or believes in. And so what I've kind of learned is I haven't done the research on everything. So if I want to have a conversation about it, I need to put some time in to figure out why she believes in it. This is really important to her. And this is why it's important to her. And is there any validity in that? And if there is, does it help our family? Does it hurt our family? Is it something you doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's just, she wants to try it this way or that way or something like that. So if nothing else, it's forced us to have conversations, I feel like, that have pushed us to go, oh, did we notice this change in our son? Or did we notice this change in our daughter? Or we noticed this change in ourselves because we started doing this, or I saw somebody that did this and now that has to be true, or I don't know. It just has caused us to have deeper conversations where we're kind of putting that back into rotation, where we're not just kind of, the convenient thing would be, oh, I'm just going to eat what I want to eat and I'll order this and whatever. And now I think we're more, I kept saying purposeful, but we're open to that conversation now. So
I think it's helped us with learning to trust each other too. Because there'll be certain things where I feel like you're like, from my perspective, it seems like you don't really want to invest the time to research it, but you're like, I trust that you've researched this and we'll go with your decision on this. Or other times where you're like, no, I don't think that that's right. And then you'll talk to me about it and we'll end up having a good conversation about that. So I think it's helped with like learning each other, but also building that trust with each other too.
yeah, I would agree.
I mean, we're what, 11? How many years have we been married? 11 years almost?
Almost 11 years.
Crazy. 11 years in. All right. So what would you, advice-wise, tell couples where one partner wants to make a big like health or lifestyle shift and the other one maybe doesn't or just isn't thinking about it?
I don't know. I think you have to kind of set your goals of what exactly that means to you. Like, what is it when you come out on the other side, what do you hope? Do you hope that you've lost weight? Do you hope that you live longer, that you have more energy, that, I don't know, you can say you did it, whatever it may be. I think kind of having those goals to go, this is what I hope to accomplish. Because if you just said, I'm going to shift all of our plasticware out for wood utensils because I don't want to eat plastic in when I chop stuff up or something like that. I'm like, okay, all right. But I think if you can put words behind it of here's what the goal looks like, I think that gets you more buy-in as a team, whether you have kids or not. I mean, I can definitely see the impacts with our kids, just some of the things we talked about. But I don't know, because there's still things that when we talk about like the garlic, like she's like, well, you should eat this garlic and honey thing. And I'm like, that sounds disgusting. I will just take the medicine. And if that means that my life will be 3 to 4 minutes shorter in the grand scheme of things, then so be it. Because that looks gross. So things like that, where I think you just have to kind of figure out, okay, this is what I'm willing to accept right now. This is where we're going. And at the end of the day, these changes will make me healthier or make my family healthier. And so at the end of the day, that goal works for us. I think it coincides too with our health goals of, working out and eating correctly and things like that. But it just takes it to another level where they all work together.
Well, I will say I got to give you some props too, because you've been working a lot on your health and getting more physically active at the CrossFit gym and on your macros, which I never really understood. But now our kids are saying those things too. And so it's kind of cool to see, like, they'll be like, well, Peyton asked me the other day if her mac and cheese was protein. She's like, is this my protein? Or Pax will be like, well, I ate my protein and my fruit. So can I go there and do this now? Like, cause I'm done. So I think that there've been changes on both sides.
Yeah, I think it the more you can put words behind it and talk about it, especially if you have kids, those are the kind of things that, growing up, my family never really talked about working out or eating correctly or, don't just eat junk food, don't just eat candy was universal. But I think now we're really having conversations like we'll go out to a restaurant and where were we? We went to a Mexican restaurant the other day and our kids they won't eat chicken in a quesadilla, but they'll eat a cheese quesadilla. Well, that cheese quesadilla has very little protein. So we're like, you have to have a protein. Do you want chicken on the side or do you want beans? And we want beans and we'll take rice. So now we've got all of our macros and they know that they've got to have that. And so when they get their food now, they're eating that stuff. And that's part of what it is. Now, is it easy and cheaper to just buy the quesadilla? Yes.
Much easier to just say, oh yeah, just have that and have some soda and some candy and chips. Yes. But it actually is a lot easier because I think they're used to it now.
Yeah.
Not always, but they make better choices.
But I think that's part of it too, is like we said, we've made this purposeful, but at some point that becomes habit. And it's easier for our kids to pick up that habit. It's easier for us to pick that up when we're all doing the same thing and focused on the same direction. And so I think that was one of the big challenges when I was trying to get fit is we were on two different spectrums. Like what I've envisioned eating healthy was I have to eat dry, unseasoned chicken and broccoli and rice every day.
And that's it.
That's it. And now that we've done this and we focus more on what we're putting in our bodies, I know nutritionally a lot more than what I did before. And we can have tasty things that fuel our body and give us the nutrition and so on and so forth. And now we're passing that on to our kids where now it's not a fight every single time. It's, I understand I need to have protein. And I understand if I choose not to have protein, I'm going to have to wait until breakfast to get the next time I can get protein or whatever it may be. But I think it's just the purposefulness has become easier. And I know that's how we kind of started is it was convenient, but now it's become convenient because it's just what we do.
Yeah. I will say when we went to Florida for 2 weeks and on like a vacation, which I talked about in a few episodes a while back, how we got sick. Well, you didn't get sick. I think you ate toxic sludge as a kid. And so you your body has this like section that just destroys germs, which is great.
Sure.
I love that for you.
Out of the water hose. Anderson, Indiana.
But anyway, I didn't notice how many crunchy or different things we did until we were in Florida away from our normal routine. And I was going to get stuff and I was like, oh, I can't make bread. Or like, oh, I wanted to make pancakes. And usually I have like a pancake mix that I make at home that's just sitting on the counter. You just scoop out and add milk. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that. You know, like if we're going to have pancakes, am I going to buy flour and, sugar or whatever and baking soda? Or am I just going to buy a box of pancake mix? I didn't realize how many shifts we had made until we were down there. And I was like, wow, we are all out of sorts. It's like, I got nothing here.
But I think that even like the first thing we started with is it's like, I don't know if it was the first thing we started with, but I think it's that idea of that goal. Like it is convenient to just live life the easy way. I can go to the store and just grab a bunch of stuff and I've got food and that's great. And I think America in general has just made it easy to live that way rather than, we don't have to make bread every day. We can go and buy bread that's been manufactured that has chemicals in it so that it can be obtainable at that price point or,
Or
whatever.
last that long on the shelf until you buy it.
Yeah. And so I think that's changed and it's changed even when you look at eating correctly and things like that. Like it's really easy to go drive through Taco Bell or get a Big Mac. They still have Big Macs
Yeah, probably.
from McDonald's, whatever.
I used to think lean cuisines were healthy. That was the healthy. If I wanted a healthy lunch at work, when I used to work, I'd get a lean cuisine.
Well, and I think that's the mindset we had was, healthy. That is healthier than going and getting a Big Mac, right? Maybe.
Maybe. All the
But
sodium.
what's in it, right? What's still in it, and are we moving the needle towards that goal of where we want to land?
Yeah. Okay, I have some rapid fire questions for you. What would you say is the crunchiest thing that I do, or like the weirdest thing that I do, I guess?
And definitely all the little medicine things you do. The onions, putting the onion on somebody's dresser. I went into Parker's room the other day, and there was a onion in there, and I almost threw up. I like onions, but that
He
was
loves
making me
onions.
be
That's
like,
why it's so funny.
Hot onion. You walk in and just, bam.
It's just right in your face. Okay, what's the least crunchy thing that I refuse to change?
The least crunchy thing.
Yeah, what's like the least crunchy thing that I still do?
Oh, like the powdered donuts that you eat every day? Like?
Every day. I don't eat them every day. But if you buy me a bag, it's very sweet. He'll buy me a little bag of those powdered donuts, the little mini donuts. But I will literally eat the whole thing in like 2 days. I've never eaten a whole one in one day, but it's gotten close.
Okay.
Yep, that's probably it. That or Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew.
You do crush a Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Okay, what's one thing that you secretly appreciate the most?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I keep saying the same things, but I would say number one, the impact with our kids. Like you're focused on raising our kids the right way, setting them up for success, whether they keep this stuff or not. At least they have the knowledge when they are able to make decisions on their own to go, I probably should have a protein today. A good protein or whatever it may be. I probably feel crappy because I ate 63 Cheetos and it all had red dye in it and whatever. I would say from watching you, just the drive that you have, you're continuing to build, I don't know, your knowledge and grow, and that how feel like that just helps push our family closer to where we need to be. And we have goals and things like that, and I think it just allows us to do some of the things that maybe we weren't able to do, like family walks, and we run marathons.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We run a 5K.
Yeah, 5K for sure.
But I don't know. I've appreciated that. I feel like it forces us to work together on things, which has been nice because we're not just, it's, with 3 kids and I'm gone most of the day and you're here most of the day. I feel like sometimes we can both be exhausted and miss opportunities to connect. And sometimes this forces us to connect and do that kind of stuff. And so, although I would not say I am in any mindset a crunchy person, I am all about being purposeful in what we're doing and not just the choices we make, but also, our marriage and how intentional we are with our kids and goals that we set for our family and things like that. So
that turned out to be a really sweet answer. Well, I have appreciated you coming on the podcast to talk about onions and garlic and piles of wood in our sink. Yeah, appreciate it. All right. Well, if you guys also appreciated it, leave him an encouraging comment in our notes. If you also crushed some Cheetos, Flamin' Hot, you have a friend. Or the powdered donuts. You've got a friend in me. All right. Well, make sure you're following. Leave me a comment, rating, and review. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
See ya.